What's up, guys? Lightsworn Squire here, doing our second deck profile. This is Jacob, and what are you playing today, Jacob?
I'm playing Flower Cardian.
Alright, so let's get into the deck profile.
I'm going to steal your video here for a sec. What's going on, Tanuki Scouts? It's Tanuki Hero 836 here. Check me out on Twitch, that's all I'm saying. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, this deck, I encourage all players to make this deck. This deck is incredibly fun to play, super consistent, and can hit hard in this meta. Like, I got 4th place today. I only had 1 loss against the hardest matchup this deck honestly has, which is DDDs. They just overpower you. You can't do anything about it.
How many rounds were there?
There were 5 rounds in total. I played against Blue Eyes, DDDs, Heroes. Oh, God. I don't remember what else. The Kaijus. I played against Kaijus. And I don't remember the other one, but I know I beat it. I lost to DDDs, though. DDDs is a very hard matchup. You're against DDDs, you're probably not going to win. All right. You guys want to see this or not? All right. To start things off, first of all, your monster lineup is huge, all right? We're going to play 1, 2, 3, Flower Cardian Pine. This is your level 1. This is the only monster in your deck that you can normal summon without tributing. So that makes it kind of hard, but you're not going to care. Trust me. Basically, when this guy's normal summoned, you get to draw 1 card and reveal it. If the card you draw is a Flower Cardian, you get to keep it. Anything else goes to grave. And if this guy's destroyed by battle or by opponent's card effect, you get to draw 1 card. So every monster in this deck, every main deck monster, has an effect where you can draw a card. And all their points are a little even, because there's 4 monsters in this that are 100, 100. But on to the next one, the next 3 of, I run 3 Flower Cardian Willow. This card is very good because this is your recycle ability. Basically, if you control a level 10 or lower Flower Cardian monster, you can special summon this guy from your hand. However, for the rest of this turn, you can only summon Flower Cardians. Not that big of a deal. But once per turn, you can target a Flower Cardian in your graveyard, shuffle it into your deck, and then draw 1 card. And this is not once per turn if you have multiple copies. That's a running gag of all of these, just so you know. But this is your main recycler, and you don't want to go without 3 of these. I've seen some people run 2, but I just like it at 3. Next up for a 2 of, 2 Flower Cardian Zebra Grass. If you ever read Magical Mallet, that's basically this card. If you control a level 7 or lower Flower Cardian monster, you can special summon this guy from your hand, but the same thing, you only summon Flower Cardians for the rest of the turn. When this guy is special summoned, when this guy's normal or special summoned, you get to reveal any number of Flower Cardian monsters in your hand, shuffle them into your deck, and then draw the same number of cards. That's basically all you're going to use them for. You can use them for another play, which I'll show later. Next up is a level 12, Flower Cardian Palawina. This guy is the same way. You can summon him if you have a level 11 or lower Flower Cardian. And if he's selected as an attack target, you can negate the attack, end the battle phase, and then draw 1 card. That's stupid. That's legit stupid. Now on to removal. If you thought this deck didn't have removal, you're wrong. Level 7, you run 2 of them. Flower Cardian Clover with Boar. You can special summon this guy just by tributing 1 Flower Cardian. That happens a lot in this deck, trust me. He's 1,000, 1,000, so he's not very big, but when he's special summoned, you get to draw 1 card and reveal it. If the card you draw is a Flower Cardian, you get to keep it, and you can destroy 1 monster your opponent controls, and this effect does not target. That's really good. Anything else goes to the graveyard. Next up, level 10, 2 Flower Cardian Maple with Deer. I love the design of these guys. But
Looks like Bambi.
It's Valerie Fawn, Mystical Beast of the Forest.
Oh yeah, I thought it looked familiar.
It's the beast type tuner. But anyway, you can special summon her by tributing 1 Flower Cardian. And when she's special summoned, you get to draw 1 card and reveal it. If the card you draw is a Flower Cardian, you get to keep it. And then you can destroy 1 spell or trap card the opponent controls without targeting. I hardly ever see non-targeting back row removal. Anything else goes to the graveyard. Next up is another 3 of. This is a brand new card we just got, and this card is absolutely insane. 3 Flower Cardian Cherry Blossom of Curtain. This card is absolutely busted because this card is not once per turn. He can't be normal summoned or set. And he's a level 3 with 2,000 attack and 2,000 defense. You can reveal him in your hand to activate his effect, draw 1 card, and reveal it. If it's a Flower Cardian, you get to keep it, and you get to summon this card. Anything else, and they both go to the graveyard. Also, If the Flower Cardian monster you control battles an opponent's monster, you can ditch him from your hand and increase that monster's attack and defense points by 1,000 until the end phase of that turn. So it's kind of like a mini Honest, but this is your main playmaker. Like, I've won so many games just because I keep drawing this guy. And if you keep drawing him, you can keep using him. And it's very stupid. Next up is another 3 of. These guys have very high levels, but they are a synchro deck, which really confused me at first till I found this out. You run 3 level 6 tuner monster, Flower Cardian Peony with Butterfly. You contribute 1 Flower Cardian monster to special her. She can't be normal summoned. When she's special summoned, draw 1 card and reveal it. If it's a Flower Cardian, you get to keep it. And, wait for it, favorite part, look at the top 3 cards of the opponent's deck, and they don't get to see them. Only you get to see them. Place them on top of their deck or on the bottom of their deck in any order you choose. A lot of times I just put them on the bottom because I don't like the cards I see. Or if I know they can't do anything, I'll just give them like if I see a Raigeki, I'm like, I don't care, and I'll give it to them.
Just give them the middle finger.
Yeah. And she's a tuner monster. When she's used as synchro material, you can treat her and all the other Cardian monsters, all the other synchro materials, as level 2 monsters. So this deck can only make even leveled synchros. That's one of the problems I have with it, because it can't make 7s.
Is that like an intentional gimmick, or?
Pretty much, yeah. But that effect right there is condition, not an effect activating. So it doesn't activate and they can't chain Valor to it. So it'll still happen. But if she gets Valored right away, you can't do that. Next up is their other tuner, Flower Cardian Willow with Calligrapher. This is basically an evolution of Willow. You need to tribute, he's a level 11 tuner. You have to tribute a level 11 Flower Cardian to summon him, which is Willow. When he's special summoned, draw 1 card and reveal it. If it's a Flower Cardian, you get to keep it, and then you have the option to summon it. You don't have to summon it. And when he's used as synchro material, you can treat him and all the other tuner monsters as all the other synchro material monsters as level 2 monsters, which is how you make all your plays. I kind of want to drop this down from 3 to maybe 2, but I just can't find the room to do it. Next up, these are 3 one-ofs. I run 1 Flower Cardian Pine with Crane. You summon this guy by attributing a level 1 Flower Cardian you control, aka Pine. When he's special summoned, draw 1 card and reveal it. If it's a Flower Cardian, you get to keep it, and then you have the option to summon it. You don't have to summon it. That's how it's going to be for the next 2 cards. At the end of the battle phase in which this guy battles, you get to draw 1 card. He has to be on field in order to use this effect, though. That's the only bad part about it. So you can't suicide him and expect to draw a card. Next up, level 8, Flower Cardian Zebra Grass with Moon. Same thing, you have to tribute a level 8 Flower Cardian, aka Zebra Grass. And same thing, special summon, draw a card, reveal it, Flower Cardian, you can keep it, and then you can special summon it. When this guy destroys a monster in battle, you get to draw 1 card. Yeah, these 3, and this one, level 12, Flower Cardian, Palowina with Phoenix, these 3 have battle-oriented effects. Same way you tribute Palowina to summon it. When this guy inflicts battle damage, draw 1 card.
Everything's about drawing.
Everything's about drawing. Draw cards for days. Screw the draw phase.
Draw cards and do nothing.
Next up, these 2 aren't Cardians. Maxi. All the draw power is needed. And that's it for the monster lineup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have a 28 monster card lineup. Oh, God, this is heavy. Next up, for the spell lineup, we run 3 Recardination. We just got this card in Raging Tempest. This card is absolutely busted. Absolutely busted. Basically, you target a Flower Cardian in your graveyard and add it to your hand. Then you can special summon a Flower Cardian from your hand, ignoring its summoning conditions. You can special summon the monster you just added if you want. And it's really stupid. And another thing is, when this card is sent to the graveyard by the effect of a Flower Cardian monster, like if you draw it off a Flower Cardian and you have to discard it, you'll get its second effect. If it's sent to the graveyard by that, you get to excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, choose 1 spell or trap card among them, add it to your hand, and place the other 4 on top of your deck in any order. It's basically a busted Curry Bandit. It's really stupid. Next up, this card is absolutely busted in my opinion. We run 2 Flower Gathering. Well, this is the original playmaker for the deck. Special summon 4 Flower Cardian monsters from your deck with different names in attack position that have 100 attack point in base. So, Pine, Zebragrass, Willow, and Palowina. The monsters you summon are summoned in attack mode. They can't be tributed for a tribute summon. You can only summon Flower Cardians the turn you activate this, and the monsters have their effects negated. But basically, if you have a tuner in hand and you have this, if you have this and a tuner, you have an instant Flower Cardian Synchro. And their Synchros are really busted, as you'll soon see. Next up, run 2 Flower Stacking. This card is just cheating in the form of a card.
It has stacking in the name.
Yeah, you choose 3 Flower Cardians in your deck and reveal them to your opponent, so long as they have different names. Place them on top of your deck in any order you choose. And then, you can banish this card from your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, and target a Flower Cardian in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So, recyclability is really good, but the pure essence that you can just stack your deck legally is absolutely stupid. Next up, these guys are all Dark Attribute. So, 3 Allure. You're going to draw 2 cards, and then banish a Dark Attribute monster in your hand. You have so many Cardians, this really does not matter. Another thing is, the types. 1 Reinforcement of the Army. Yes, people, these monsters are warriors. How are these warriors? I thought they were machines. Then I thought they were plants. But no. No.
Jacob, are you taking Cardians to regions?
But yes, I probably will be taking this deck to next regionals. Next up is Soul Charge. That's the last card in the deck. This card is stupid because the monsters that say they must first be special summoned by their own effects, if you successfully summon them by their effects, they're legal Soul Charge targets. And they just go off. You make so many synchro plays just by Soul Charge. And that is the spell lineup with 12 cards, and that's the end of the main deck.
No traps?
No traps. They have 1 trap card and 1 spell card that I do not use. Their spell card is called Super Koi Koi. What it does is it lets you excavate the top 3 cards of your deck and special any Cardian monsters among them, ignoring their summon conditions, with their effects negated and their levels become 2. Any remaining cards or non-Cardian cards get banished face down and you lose 1,000 points per. I don't like it because it's situational and I just found time to get rid of it. You can banish it from grave as well and tribute a face-up Cardian you control and special Cardian from your hand ignoring its summoning conditions. I have Recardination. I don't need that. Next up is a trap card. The original name is No Cheating Allowed or Fraud Freeze in the English version. When the opponent special summons a monster or monsters from their hand, you get to negate the summon and then bounce all the monsters back to hand. It's really good, but the problem with it is it's a continuous trap card, first of all. So you can keep doing it, but you have to control a face-up Flower Cardian Synchro monster in order to activate and resolve the effect. So I don't think it's worth it. But let's move on to the extra deck. This is just an unfair card. This makes people afraid to draw cards for their draw phase. We run 3 Flower Cardian Light Shower.
Yeah, I saw this card a lot today.
Yeah, I made 2 to 3 of this card in almost every duel. Basically, he needs 1 tuner plus 3 non-tuner monsters. He has 3,000 attack, 3,000 defense, level 8 Dark Attribute Warrior type Synchro monster. While he's face up on the field, your opponent cannot target Flower Cardian monsters,
Including himself.
including himself, for card effects, and they cannot be destroyed by card effects, including himself.
And then his best effect?
When the opponent draws a card, or cards, for their draw phase, he inflicts 1,500 points of damage. And this stacks. So if you have multiples of this, it adds up. Also though, one little flaw he has though. During the opponent's end phase, you have to choose one of 2 things to do. You have to either negate all of his effects until your opponent's next standby phase, or skip your next draw phase. So if you want to keep burning your opponent, you have to skip your draw phase. My opinion, do it. This deck does not need a draw phase. Next up, we got their new monster, which I think is absolutely amazing. I run 2 Flower Cardian Light Flares. He's a level 10 Synchro with 5,000, let me repeat this, 5,000 attack points and 0 defense points. He needs 1 tuner plus 4 non-tuner monsters. Basically, once per turn during either player's turn, when the opponent activates a spell or trap card, you can negate the activation and destroy it for free. While he's faceable on the field, any Flower Cardian monster, like any opponent's monster that battles a Flower Cardian monster you control, has its effect negated until the end of the battle phase. This follows the grave as well. So Giant Rat, Beatrice, and any of those won't get their effects. Also, if he is destroyed by battle, first of all, he has 5,000 attack. No one's going to run into this thing. If he's destroyed by battle or leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you get to special summon a Flower Cardian Synchro monster from your extra deck that's not Light Flare. Oh, and you can Soul Charge him if he was summoned correctly.
Is there anything you can't do with him?
You can't normal him. But there was something else about this guy. Yeah. One other thing, his materials might seem excessive. It's not hard to do. It is really not hard to do. Next up, for the one of, I run one Flower Cardian Board Fly. This guy actually came in clutch today. He's a level 6 with 2,000 attack and 2,000 defense. While he's faithful on the field, Flower Cardian monsters you control, including himself, can inflict piercing damage. Also, once per turn, you can banish a Flower Cardian monster from your graveyard. Until the end of your opponent's next turn, card effects in your opponent's graveyard cannot activate, and your opponent cannot special summon from graveyard. He's like a better Abyss Dweller, in my opinion. But I don't make him as much. I didn't think I would make him at all today. I made him so much today. Like, I played against Blue Eyes, and he bricked and set a card face down. I just made this an attack multiple times, then made two of these guys afterwards, and then ended him.
I love that card.
Next up, for the generics, I run 2 Herald of Arclight. I didn't make this guy at all. I'm saying I never made anything that's not a Flower Cardian Synchro. But this guy's just there for protection, all that. If the opponent activates a card, a monster, spell, or trap effect, you contribute this guy to negate it, and just boom. Next up, for the basics, I run 1 Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend, 1 Psyframe Lord Omega, 1 Void Ogre Dragon, and 1 Scrap Dragon. I'd rather this be a Beals, but I don't have a Beals. Next up, I run 1 Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max, because I can make this with Deer. I'm just going to call it Deer, because that's all I can remember its name. Next, I run 1 number 84 Pain Gainer. This card actually came in clutch against Kaijus, because I managed to make it and then blow up his Thunder King, because it only has 2,100 defense. And then I overlaid on top for 7 sins, and I had Light Shower already on board. Just boom. But yeah, that's it for the extra deck. I want to say, make this deck. This deck is very powerful. This deck can win you games, and it's very, very, very fun to play. I'm not kidding. Make it. Make it. All right. Anything else?
No, I think we're good. All right, thank you, Jacob, for your deck profile. This is Lightsworn Squire signing out.